Do 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 do.
Just back from the supermarket in town, picked up eggs, milk, trailer load of cardboard, which probably warrants some explanation. So there's all these different types of approaches or methodologies, philosophies of farming and gardening in particular. All sorts of trendy buzzwords, things like organic and permaculture, sustainable, regenerative, the sorts of things you'd find on overpriced cafe menus. But there's one approach that's really piqued our interest, and that's no-dig gardening. And as the name suggests, you don't need to dig, you can just use something like cardboard first and build up on top of it. I've done one practice bed using that just over near the house. Go have a look at it. Just through here, through the gate I built. So there's kind of two main types of garden beds. There's your raised garden beds where you build something up and fill it with soil and you can grow in it, or there's growing directly into the ground. And a lot of the times if people are going directly into the ground, you're combating the grasses and the weeds that are already there. And so some people will chew that around and feed it back into the soil as a compost, and other times you might just rip it out and throw it away. But both of those methods are essentially digging methods. You're either mechanically or manually hacking through the grass and the soil and the weeds and churning it all around to make the garden bed usable. So some people get around that by laying down large silage tarps. So if you've been out and seen market gardens and things like that, you've probably seen some fields with big black plastic and maybe some tyres weighing it down. So what they're doing is using the black plastic to block the sunlight from hitting the grass, which kills it off through both heat and doesn't get the photosynthesis happening that it needs. And usually what people would do once the sun's done its job on the plastic is they take the plastic away and then they still churn up the dirt anyway. It's just that the grass, the weeds and their seeds are usually dead by then. We're basically just growing stuff on top of that solar barrier, because our solar barrier isn't black plastic, it's cardboard that's eventually going to break down anyway. So what I've done here, got the cardboard and just laid it directly on top of the weeds and grass, and that's it. I had to layer it up. You can do it thick if you need to, or you can overlap it. In fact, you should overlap it just so that nothing can sort of grow through the cracks. But cardboard's gone down. Ideally, we'd put a good few inches of compost on top of that and just plant directly into that. We haven't got compost on that sort of a scale yet, although we're hoping that'll be a bit of a snowball process, and once we get things growing, it'll do its thing. But this is just a bit of good soil that we picked up from the landscaper up the road, and that's on top of the cardboard, which is on top of the grass and weeds. So there's enough soil in here for everything to take root and then grow, and eventually the cardboard will disintegrate, by which time the theory is that everything under it is gone that was unhelpful to us. Obviously some things will make it through, you can just pick those out, but that's basically no dig. And we like it for a number of reasons. I mean, yeah, it's a bit more environmentally friendly. I'm not just chugging up and down on a tiller or a tractor. I also don't have a tiller or a tractor, and those things cost a lot of money, whereas cardboard is more or less free for us at the moment. And it saves a lot of labour as well. Like, it's a different sort. That's not true. It's a different sort of labour, but loading and unloading cardboard and pulling off sticky tape is a little bit different to ripping up a field, isn't it? So it's working nicely here. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see if we can make it work on a bigger scale.
Do 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 do.